You've probably heard the term green building tossed around a lot, but what does it really mean? I'll tell you, it's so much more than just sticking some solar panels on a roof. It's a whole blueprint for creating buildings that are way better for the planet, and, maybe surprisingly, a lot better for us too. So let's break down that blueprint.
I mean, really think about that for a second. We spend almost all of our lives inside buildings. There are homes, our offices, our schools, and traditionally, they just consume a massive amount of resources. But what if we could flip that script? What if our buildings could actually become part of the solution to some of our biggest environmental problems?
And to get a sense of just how big this is, take a look at a country like India. The construction industry there is growing at nearly 10% every single year. That's an incredible, almost unbelievable pace. And it means that every day we're at a crossroads. We can either keep building the old way, or we can grab this huge opportunity to build a whole lot smarter.
Right, so here's the fundamental problem that green buildings are trying to solve. Our buildings have traditionally been resource hogs. They guzzle down fresh water, they pull tons of electricity from the grid, and they produce a whole lot of waste. The question is, how do we turn that ship around?
Well, you do it with a plan. A really structured framework that helps guide every single decision, from the patch of ground you build on to the kind of paint you put on the walls. It's all about looking at the whole picture, and it's laid out in something called a rating system.
These rating systems, like the one from the Indian Green Building Council, or IGBC for short, are basically the rulebook and the scorecard all in one. They give you a really clear set of standards for, well, everything, from the very first sketch all the way to how the building runs day in and day out.
And here it is. This is what that blueprint looks like in practice. You can see the IGBC framework is split into these major categories, covering everything from the architecture itself to the quality of the air you breathe inside. Think of this table as our roadmap for the next few minutes. Let's start from the outside and work our way in.
So before a single shovel hits the dirt, a green building project starts by thinking about its place in the world. How does it fit with the land? How does it interact with the sun, the rain, and the wind? The whole idea is to work with nature, not against it.
This slide just nails the complete shift in thinking. On the left, you've got the old school way. Just clear the land, bulldoze everything flat, and treat rainwater like a problem you need to get rid of. But the green approach, on the right, is all about harmony. It's about saving what's already there and seeing something like rain as a resource you can actually use.
So what does that look like in the real world? It means making very specific choices, like committing to preserve the vast majority of trees that are already on the site. It means using surfaces that let water soak through, think special pavers instead of solid concrete, so that all that precious rainwater goes back into the ground instead of overwhelming the drains. It's really about minimizing the building's footprint on the landscape.
And this brings us to this absolutely brilliant idea called passive architecture. The thinking here is just so smart. Before you even think about fancy technology, the building's own design, its shape, its position, can do most of the hard work to keep it cool, comfortable, and efficient.
And this isn't some high-tech secret, it's just smart, sensible design. It's the kind of stuff our ancestors just knew how to do. Simply turning a building to catch the local winds can cut down on how much you need AC. Adding an overhang blocks that intense summer sun, but still lets in the gentler winter light. And a well-insulated roof, probably one of the easiest and most effective ways to keep a building cool. It's a design that works for you, around the clock, for free.
Okay, so we've looked at the building's shell. Now let's move inside and talk about the systems that make it run. We're going to look at how a green building handles the essentials: the water it uses, the energy it consumes, and the actual air that we breathe inside.
Okay, just look at this chart for a second. The difference in water use is just staggering. A standard toilet can use a full 6 liters with every flush, while a modern water-saving one uses just a fraction of that. And check out the shower head. A standard one is just gushing out 10 liters a minute. A simple switch to a low-flow version, which, by the way, still gives you a perfectly good shower, cuts that by more than half. Now imagine that multiplied across an entire building. It adds up fast.
And here's what it adds up to. A certified green building can literally cut its water use by 30 to 50%. In a place where water is scarce, that's not just about saving money on a bill, it's about protecting a critical national resource.
And you know what? The story's pretty much the same for energy. By putting together smart design and efficient systems, a green building can slash its energy use by 20 to 30% compared to a regular building. That means lower electricity bills and a smaller carbon footprint right from day one.
So where do all these savings come from? Well, it's a combination of smart choices all working together.
We're talking about things like using modern refrigerants in the AC that don't destroy the ozone layer, using the sun to heat your water, and of course, switching to super efficient lighting. It even comes down to the little things, like making sure every single appliance is an Energy Star model built to sip, not guzzle, electricity.
Now this is a point that is so important and often gets overlooked. The benefits of green design go way beyond just saving resources. They have a direct impact on the health and well-being of the people inside. It's a whole field called Indoor Environmental Quality, or IEQ.
A green building is quite literally a healthier building. It makes sure there's a constant flow of fresh air. It uses paints and materials with low or zero VOCs. You know, those are the chemicals that give you that new paint smell that can actually be pretty bad for you. And finally, it's designed to bring in as much natural daylight as possible, which has been proven time and again to boost our mood and make us more productive.
All right, so after you've put all of these strategies into place, from how you treat the land to the light bulbs you choose, what's the end result? What's the ultimate payoff for going green?
The benefits are pretty clear, and they are incredibly compelling. On the one hand, you have the tangible stuff you can count, lower water and electricity bills month after month. But the intangible benefits are just as powerful. You get a healthier, more comfortable, and more productive place to live and work. And on a macro level, every single green building helps conserve our shared natural resources. It's a win-win-win.
And this isn't just some honor system either. These efforts are officially recognized. The IGBC rating system has these different tiers of certification, almost like a ladder of achievement. It starts with certified for just getting the best practices right, and it goes all the way up to platinum for projects that are true global leaders in building sustainably.
And that really is the bottom line, isn't it? The blueprint is there, the tech is available. The benefits for our bank accounts, for our health, and for the planet are completely undeniable. Building green, it's not really just an alternative anymore. It's simply the smartest way forward.